Guys, this is Irene, and this is another one of my Ask a Black Girl questions that was submitted by one of you guys. I love when you guys submit questions to me. Please don't be afraid to do that. I love to answer them. So this one starts off, Irene Crystal Ball Yvette, and it says, I apologize for using you as the answer woman. That's okay. I don't mind being your answer woman. You remind me of a mix between Condoleezza Rice and Candace Owens, but in your own way. Here's the winding circular road to my question. With the midterm 2018 and 2020 presidential elections right around the corner, even though it's 2 years out, the makeup of the Republican Party as I knew it, even 6 years ago, has changed drastically. I've seen Black, straight, gay, lesbians, and Latinos, young and more, in hordes walk away from the Democrats, but unlike you, they became conservatives, Republicans, and they blatantly said it. And for those of you that don't know, I'm not a Republican, although obviously if you watch my videos, you probably think I was a Republican because I'm very, very conservative leaning. I actually don't affiliate with a party. A lot of people call me an independent or conservative independent. Right leaning, I don't know, y'all. I don't know all of your, party lingo, but I tend to vote to the issue and the person. However, people are shocked when they find out I'm not a conservative because I am very, very conservative in my views. With that said, he says, if you had a crystal ball, and I think you do, yes, I do, what do you think will happen at the 2020 Republican convention? Will the old guard embrace change? Will they, as assholes, use these folks for political gain or embrace them for political gain? There is a difference, and there is a difference. And it's strange because I kind of glanced over this question and decided I would answer it. But that's the first thing that came to my, my mind. Embrace versus use for political gain. They are two totally different things. And I will talk about that a little bit later in the video. I see wonderful black men like Mo Dalcrease or Will Johnson. Black men with dreadlocks down to their shoulders embrace Trump and the Republicans. Absolutely great and wild. My prediction, country club Republicans and I think establishment Republicans are going to have their goodies handed to them. But their power is not going to go away quietly if they don't embrace change like I do. And he's speaking from obviously a long-term Republican perspective, older white perspective, male perspective. They will shoot themselves and we will have something happen, but I don't know if they go to the center. What would that look like? I wonder if the newbies will get jerked around or something will get screwed up. Okay, so first and foremost, let me just say that I don't, and there's more, but I'm just going to stop there because you get the general gist of the question. First and foremost, one of the reasons I'm not a Republican is because I don't honestly believe the Republican Party embraces the groups of people that they're willing to kind of hold up to gain votes of people who phenotypically look like them or who are of the same culture of them. So I don't feel the Republicans really embrace gays, but they'll definitely hold some gay people up to get the gay vote. I don't think the Republican Party really embraces black people, but they'll definitely stick some black figure faces out to get the black vote. And so that's the gist I get. I don't think the Republican Party really embraces women, but they will throw Republican women out there to get the female vote. Why do I say that? Okay, let me say this, because I want to deal with this part of it first and then what I think it will look like. I feel that, for example, if Republicans really cared about women, then I wouldn't personally have met a government employee who has to go into the bathroom, and she's a government employee. So she works in a state or federal building. I won't specify which one. She has to go into a public bathroom to pump breast milk for her baby. Wouldn't be happening, okay, if the Republican Party really embraced women. I feel like sanitary care is a right for women. Poor women should not have situations where they don't have pads or tampons to use during their period. I feel that whilst everybody knows I'm very anti-abortion, I'm also not for leaving people to the dogs. I feel like people should be responsible for their behavior. But I think if we want to create a climate where, because we're sinners, right? Where people sin and make a mistake and choose to keep their baby, that they should, the child should not be like starving. These are the same people who would cut food stamps, which mostly children get. You know what I mean? So I think embracing and wanting people's vote is very different. I think if the Republican Party really embraced women, they would not be saying there's no differences. What are you talking about? You guys are just making this up. Like, what laws are preventing you as a woman when we know that legal access and actual access are very different? Now, I won't argue that women do or don't make equal money. I don't care about that. I'm not a feminist, not by a long shot. But I will say that the reality is that women should get maternal leave. I mean, I would even be for period leave. Honestly, y'all haven't seen me in several days because I've been like physically exhausted. I've literally been so tired that like it was all I could do to not fall asleep during the day. So I think if the Republican Party really embraced women, they would embrace policies that deal with our uniqueness as women. But then I'm also a traditionalist, right? I'm one of those women who would be like a housewife and like bake bread and do all that kind of thing. Like, that's how I've spent the majority of my life. I think if the Republican Party embraced Black people, they would not keep claiming that there are no laws that are discriminatory toward Black people. You know, I pointed out a law that's discriminatory both on an economic basis and on a racial basis. And that video got almost no views. And that was a 1 to 100. And then in the Obama era, which I'm not a fan of Obama, I literally think the best thing about Obama was that he was half Black. Honestly. I mean, because I'd love to see some diversity in our presidential system, not so much women. And I know, look, I'm more conservative than a lot of you guys because I personally don't think a woman should run our country. But at least, typically, can we get anybody who's not a rich white man into office? And so for that reason, I loved Obama. Probably the only other thing he did half right, in my opinion, was changing that 1 to 100 law to 1 to 18, but it's still discriminatory. So, the whole deny attitude that Republicans have shows you don't really care about these demographics that you're going after. Here's the thing. People like me who are very right-leaning will never come right. And the people that are moving right won't stay right if they see that you don't actually care about their demographic. It's just not going to happen. It's problematic. Is that loud? Sorry. It's just not going to happen. So I definitely think there is a very different sort of mood that comes with embracing versus accepting for your benefit. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to tolerate you because we need these votes. We need to grow our party, but we don't actually embrace or care about your individual communities. And so I think that that's very different. And that's people like me who are super, super right-leaning. That's why I'm not heading in that direction, because there's some things we just don't agree on. I care about people, and I care about social nets, and I care about actual injustices that go on. But I don't like whining, I don't like excuses, and I don't like lack of self-accountability. I think that when you have as far left as the Democrats are going, where people are turning their penises inside out, and, they want to be 50 bajillion genders, and, they're just want to go totally socialist, and then they go so far off in a left field, la la land, we're all five with no good sense country. People are walking away, not so much because Republicans are so great, as much as they're so appalled with the Democrats. But the thing is, can you retain those people? Can you retain them? Are these people going to move to the middle when they realize that you don't give a crap about them? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of Republicans here are going to go, what are you saying? We care. Here's the thing. Your leaders have to care. Okay? It's not good enough for you as an individual to care because y'all aren't passing any laws. You guys aren't representing. You're not the face of your party. So I think as the Republican Party becomes more diverse, there's going to need to be a real assimilation and evaluation of where you guys stand to retain all of these people who are not moving because of your glory. I think Trump has done a lot of this. I've always been conservative leaning. Trump is not the reason I'm conservative leaning. But I feel like, you know, it's really, really super important, you know, that you guys retain. And if you can retain through true assimilation, you will see us middle-leaning people move to the Republican Party. And there can be a true exchange of power. There really can. The whole, you know, dance. I also think you guys have to pick your figureheads more wisely. I think Candace Owens was a good pick, right? Because she doesn't disgust me the way some of the older Republican blacks do, where I'm just like, dude, are you serious right now? Like, are we just going to deny everything and just pretend it's all okie dokie and everything's in people's imagination? At least she doesn't do that. Do you know what I mean? And so I can respect her. So I think that, you know, choosing her as a figurehead was a good idea. I think the old idea of just dismissing everybody and disregarding them and get with the program, you guys are all really stupid, I think that is condescending to people who have intelligence. And who recognize that there's always a place in the middle where you have to meet, and that's where right is, right? The Bible says, you know, if any man thinks he knows anything, he knows nothing as he ought to. And I think for the Republicans who are typically believed to be heavily Christian, then you guys should know that. If you think you know anything, right? If any of us thinks we know anything, then we aren't there yet. Okay, so we need to get there. And so I feel like the Republican Party still needs to get there. So as far as what do I think it'll look like, I think what it will look like will have a lot to do with the Republicans, right? What are you guys going to bring to the table? You know, the proof is going to be in the pudding on whether or not you can retain the movement that's happening by no virtue of your own, okay? There's no virtue of the Republicans that is causing this movement to happen. It's clear, it's period, point blank, the retardation of the Democrats that's causing the movement to happen. Are you prepared for these people that are coming? Are you going to truly embrace them? Are you truly going to petition for their causes as well as yours with the conservative lean, right? With that conservative lean. I think that is so important. So that's pretty much what I have to say on that topic. I don't know if I answered your question, but I definitely hope that I did. And I would like to see the Republican Party grow. I would even move Republican, but there has to be some honesty there, right? There has to be honesty there. Right now, the deny attitude of the Republicans and the desire to make demands but not be introspective is a problem. You know, I recognize that I remember I did a walkaway video, and one of the things I said is there's racial things from the right. And all the Republicans went, the racists are on the left. No, there's racists on both sides. Do you see what I'm saying? Deny, deny, deny. Am I saying all Republicans are racist? No. But I'm saying, dude, are you really going to deny that, like, there are racist Republicans? Like, is that fair to do? Like, is that honest? So, you know, the deny, deny, deny attitude will lose people. Because if there's a real issue, no matter how small, and you choose not to address it, then it's problematic. You know, if you put figureheads out there that go, what laws are discriminatory towards blacks or minorities? And then I point out just one law. I could point out more, but I did a video on this one, so that's why I'm bringing it up. Just one law that's discriminatory. Well, then that makes people like me give you the side eye, and it will also make the educated people that are moving from the left to the right give you the side eye too. Because they're going to go, okay, now that we're all over here, we're not going to make this ratio 1-to-1. Now that we're all over here, we're not going to ensure these women that we want to definitely keep their babies. We're not going to make sure that they have proper medical care. You know, now that we're over here, we're not going to look at women's rights, you know, from a real perspective, not the pseudo-feminist perspective, but from a real perspective. You know, we're not going to start putting these things in place. So it's going to be a matter of retention. But that is something that Republicans need to look to their leaders and press their leaders, the old guard, as this commenter called them, look toward them and say, look, if we want to make this work and we want to make this have longevity, we're going to have to address these issues. Our approach is going to have to be different. All right? Because as you know, everything has to progress. Even political parties, you guys have to progress. You have to be better. You have to improve. It's not a perfected science. And I think it's essential to realize that and not get so deep into your own rhetoric that there's no introspection, self-correction, and proper assimilation of those people who are leaning toward your cause. And so, yeah, I think that's all I have to say on that. And I'm not going to re-record this, so I hope that that came off right. All right, you guys, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you later. Oh, and just ignore the 3-year-old in the playroom on the next floor. Bye-bye.